My next guest says a win for the government is a loss for you because this health care plan is going to cost you more and give you less. Dr. Sreedhar Potarazu is with us today. What do you mean by that, that this is going to cost us more, but we're going to get less with this health care law?
Well, Charles, if you look at the economics of how the subsidies come in from the government, there's something called these notches where, based upon the poverty level that you achieve, you're going to get certain levels of subsidies. But if you go above the threshold of 401%, all of a sudden by 2014, you're going to be left holding the pot, having to pay for coverage that you can't afford. So that enforcing the mandate puts more economic pressures on the average American that are unsustainable. And this isn't something that a judge in the Supreme Court, any politician here in Washington, can ever understand because they know nothing about health care. You have people who don't understand the business of health care or the economics of health care making decisions about what's going to happen to the average American, and we have to put an end to the average American drinking that Kool-Aid.
Dr. Potarazu, I read some of your work where you've said that the health care law is already beginning to unravel on its own. Explain that a little bit for us.
You just heard it from the Attorney General of Oklahoma, as well as other states like Vermont, where they've determined that we cannot, as a state, put in something that's sustainable in terms of being able to fund Medicaid and expect that the government is going to step in, as they've perhaps promised, in order to subsidize what the gaps are going to be in terms of coverage. The states are smart enough to recognize that the government is simply not going to have the money to do that. So that's unraveling number one. Number two, thousands of waivers have been issued to the law that sets the precedence for the fact that there really isn't a law then if you're starting to give exceptions to a number of different entities. So that the timing on the Supreme Court ruling, whether it comes out tomorrow or whether it comes out 9 months from now, is pretty much dead on arrival because the verdict is already out. This law does not work.
I want to get back to these waivers because I think the first big case was McDonald's, and now I can't make rhyme or reason over who gets a waiver. I looked at the list once. I saw a guy with a one-man auto body shop, and then I saw a bunch of unions with these Cadillac plans. How do you get a waiver? Why are they giving so many waivers out anyway?
It's by the determination of the HHS. And so it is their prerogative in terms of how the waivers are issued, and there is no rhyme or reason. And so the autocracy of the HHS is what is determining who actually gets and how much pressure they can influence. Nobody has yet to peel back the lobbying dollars that have gone into the decision-making behind these waivers, and that's a whole other book to be written. So the fact of the matter is that the politics of Washington have determined who's going to get these waivers. At the end of the day, the employers are completely backed into the corner, right, as the governor of Virginia just stated, and it's unsustainable. And they're sitting on the fence determining what kinds of changes they should make. But at the end of the day, there is one final common denominator that is universal, is that everybody's premiums have gone up and that the insurance companies continue to be more profitable than they've ever been, and we've done nothing to control that.
I got to let you go, but I want a yes or no. When it does go to the Supreme Court, will it be overturned?
I'm skeptical about it being overturned because I understand the politics that there is really no separation of church and state.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, yeah. And
Dr.
so I don't think
Potarazu,
it'll be overturned.
I got to let you go. Thank you so much. As usual, very informative. We appreciate it.